Hello children, today we are going to start Unit 5 Magnetism and Electromagnetism. In this lesson we will study about properties of magnet, magnetic effect of current, electromagnetic induction and applications of electromagnets. Come, let's enter into this video session.
Hello children, today we are going to start Unit 5 Magnetism and Electromagnetism. Have you ever played with magnets? Do you wonder why it attracts ion? Magnets are always attractive objects for the humans. In fact, famous scientist Einstein has mentioned that he was always attracted by magnets in his childhood. In the olden days, magnets were used in the ships. Captains of the ships effectively used the magnets to identify the direction of the ship in the sea. There are two kinds of magnets that we can see around us: natural magnet and artificial magnet. Natural magnets exist in the nature. These kind of magnets can be found in rocks and sandy deposits in various parts of the world. The strongest natural magnet is lodestone magnetite. The magnetic property in the natural magnets is permanent. It never gets destroyed. The lodestones were used to make compasses in the olden days. Artificial magnets. Artificial magnets are made by us. The magnets available in the shops are basically artificial magnets. For example, Osho magnet and Bohr magnet. Put a magnet on a table and place some paper clips nearby. If you push the magnet slowly towards the paper clips, there will be a point at which the paper clips jump across and stick to the magnet. What do you understand from this? From this activity, we notice that magnets have an invisible field all around them, which attracts magnetic materials. In the space, we can feel the force of attraction or repulsion due to the magnet. Thus, magnetic field is the region around the magnet where its magnetic influence can be felt. It is denoted by B and its unit is Tesla. The direction of the magnetic field around the magnet can be found by placing a small compass in a magnetic field. So we can also able to find this magnetic field direction by using a Bohr magnet with a small compass. Okay. So magnetic field can penetrate through all kinds of materials, not just air. The earth produces its own magnetic field which shields the earth's ozone layer from the solar wind, and it is important for navigation also. Magnetic field lines. A magnetic field lines is defined as the curve drawn in the magnetic field in such a way that the tangent to the curve at any point gives the direction of the magnetic field. Here, when you see this figure, you can able to understand all the field lines start at North Pole and ends at South Pole. Just listen the arrow mark. Okay, in which direction the magnetic field lines moves. Okay, it shows the arrow mark. The arrow mark indicates the direction of magnetic field at point A, B and C. Note carefully that the magnetic field at a point is tangential to the magnetic field lines. So we can able to see that magnetic field point at A, B, C. So that lines is drawn as a tangential at the point. Okay, so that is the magnetic field lines, or it starts from North Pole and ends at the South Pole. Let's see what is magnetic flux. Magnetic flux is the number of magnetic field lines passing through a given area. Okay, what is magnetic flux? Number of magnetic field lines passing through in a given area. Okay, in a particular area, how many number of lines is passing through? Magnetic field lines passing through in a particular area. That is called what? Magnetic flux. It is denoted by the symbol pi. Okay, and its unit is Weber. We can say it is WB. So this is the magnetic flux. Let's see what is magnetic flux density. The number of magnetic field lines crossing unit area kept normal to the direction of field lines is called magnetic flux density. Okay, when you see this image, we can able to understand in that first image less flux density. Why? Because the number of magnetic field lines is lesser in the first image. Okay, in the first given area. In the second figure, their field lines is more. Okay, so that we can say it is what more flux density. In the image 2, there is a more magnetic field lines passing through in that given area. So this is a more flux density compared to the A. This field lines magnetic field is represented by B, that is capital B. Children, do you know some sea turtles, loggerhead sea turtle, returned to their birth beach many decades after they were born to nest and lay eggs. In a research, it is suggested that the turtles can perceive variations in magnetic parameters of Earth, such as magnetic field intensity, and remember them. This memory is what helps them in returning to their homeland. Properties of magnetic lines of force. Magnetic lines of force are closed continuous curves extending through the body of the magnet. So magnetic lines, it's always like a closed continuous curves. Then magnetic lines of force start from the North Pole and end at the South Pole. Magnetic lines of force never intersect. Okay, it will never intersect other line with other line. Okay, so next they will be maximum at the poles than at the equator. The tangent drawn at any point on the curved lines gives the direction of magnetic field. Magnetic effect of current. It was on 21st April 1820, Hans Christian Ørsted, a Danish physicist, was giving a lecture. He was demonstrating electrical circuits in the class. He had to often switch on and off the circuit during the lecture. Accidentally, he noticed that needle of the magnetic compass that was on the table. It deflected whenever he switched on and the current was flowing through the wire. The compass needle moved only slightly, so that the audience did not even notice. But it was clear to Ørsted that something significant was happening. He conducted many experiments to find out the startling effect, the magnetic effect of current. After that, Ørsted aligned a wire XY such that they were exactly along the north-south direction. He kept one magnetic compass above the wire at A and another under the wire at B. When the circuit was open and no current was flowing through it, the needle of both the compass was pointing to north. Once the circuit was closed, the electric current was flowing. The needle at A pointed to east and the needle at B to pointed the west. That is shown in the figure. This showed that current carrying conductor produces magnetic field around it. The direction of magnetic lines around a current carrying conductor can be easily understood using the right hand thumb rule. Hold the wire with the four fingers of your right hand with the thumbs up position. If the direction of the current is towards the thumb, then the magnetic lines curl in the same direction at your other four fingers as shown in the figure. This shows that magnetic field is always perpendicular to the direction of current. So while seeing this figure, you can able to understand force on a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field. H. A. Lorentz found that the charge moving in a magnetic field in a direction other than the direction of magnetic field experiences a force. It is called the magnetic Lorentz force. Since charge in motion constitutes a current, a conductor carrying moving charges placed in magnetic field other than the direction of magnetic field will also experience a force and can produce motion in the conductor. This is called what? Magnetic Lorentz force. In 1821, Michael Faraday discovered that a current carrying conductor also get deflected when it is placed in a magnetic field. We can see that the magnetic field of the permanent magnet and the magnetic field produced by the current carrying conductor interact and produce a force on the conductor. Here we can able to see that force on a current carrying conductor kept in the magnetic field. So here we can see that north pole, south pole, in between the north and south pole there is a field due to current carrying conductor. So that lines is represent field due to a permanent magnet, and in between that lines there is a circle that is called what? Direction of current is into the page. Okay, so when the current is flows through, there is producing a what? Magnetic field. Okay, and it experiences force. So if a current I, always current is denoted by I, is flowing through a conductor of length L kept perpendicular to the magnetic field B, then the force F experienced by it is given by the equation is force is equal to I is the current, L is the length of the conductor, and B is the magnetic field. Okay, so what is force? Current into length into magnetic field. So F is equal to ILB. This above equation indicates that the force is proportional to current through the conductor, length of the conductor, and the magnetic field in which the current carrying conductor is kept. Force is always a vector quantity. A vector quantity, as you know, that both magnitude and direction. It means we should know that direction in which the force would act. So the direction is often found using what is known as Fleming's left hand rule. Already we saw that Fleming right hand rule. Okay, this is Fleming left hand rule. This was formulated by the scientist John Ambrose Fleming. Okay, this law states that while stretching the three fingers of left hand in perpendicular manner with each other, if the direction of the current is denoted by the middle finger of the left hand and the second finger is for the direction of magnetic field, then the thumb of the left hand denotes the direction of the force or movement of the conductor. This what says the Fleming left hand rule. Now force on parallel current carrying conductors. We have seen that the current carrying conductor has a magnetic field around it. If we place another conductor carrying current parallel to the first one, the second conductor will experience a force due to magnetic field of the first conductor. Similarly, the first conductor will experience a force due to the magnetic field of the second conductor. These two forces will be equal in the magnitude and opposite in direction. See the image, attractive and repulsive force on current carrying wires. Okay, the two wires kept nearer. In the two wire, the current is flows through in the same direction. Okay, so at the magnetic field also producing in the same direction. That circle, that is called what? Magnetic field producing around the current carrying conductor. And then the force is also producing towards each other. When the current flows through in the same direction, the force also produced towards each other. Okay, in the image 2, the current is flows through in opposite direction, upward and downward, and that time the field is also producing in the opposite direction. One is clockwise and another one is anti-clockwise. At the same time, force is also what? Opposite direction. The force is represented by F1 and F2. Magnetic field is represented B1, B2. Current is represented by I1 and I2. Okay, so using Fleming's left hand rule, we can find that the direction of the force on each wire would be towards each other when the current in both of them are flowing in the same direction. The wires would experience an attractive force. However, if the direction of the flow of current is in opposite direction, then the force on each of the wire will be in the opposite direction. This also given in the figure. Electric motor. An electric motor is a device which converts electric energy into mechanical energy. Electric motors are crucial in modern life. They are used in water pump, fan, washing machine, juicer, mixer, grinder, etc. We have already seen that when electric current is passed through a conductor placed normally in a magnetic field, a force is acting on the conductor and this force makes the conductor to move. This is harnessed to construct an electric motor. To understand how a motor works, we need to understand how a current carrying coil experiences a turning effect when placed inside a permanent magnetic field. Let's see the image and understand how the current flows through in the coil. A simple coil is placed inside the two poles of a magnet, that is north and south poles of magnet. Now look at the current carrying conductor segment, that is AB. The direction of the current is towards B, whereas in the conductor segment CD, the direction is opposite. Okay, AB is opposite to the DC. As the current is flowing in opposite directions in the segment AB and CD, the direction of the motion of the segments would be in opposite directions according to Fleming's left hand rule. When two ends of the coil experience force in opposite direction, what happens? They rotate. If the current flow in along the line ABCD, then the coil will rotate in clockwise direction first and then in anti-clockwise direction. If we want to make the coil rotate in any one direction, say clockwise, then the direction of the current should be along ABCD in the first half of the rotation and along DCBA in the second half of the rotation. To change the direction of the current, a small device called split ring commutator is used. Okay, to change the direction of current, we are using a device called what? Split ring commutator. Okay, when the gap in the split ring commutator is aligned with the terminals X and Y, there is no flow of current in the coil. But as the coil is moving, it continues to move forward, bringing one of the split ring commutator in contact with the carbon brushes X and Y. The reversing of the current is repeated at each half rotation, giving rise to the continuous rotation of the coil. The speed of rotation of coil can be increased by increasing the strength of current in the coil. Okay, so first one, increasing the strength of the current in the coil, and by increasing the number of turns in the coil. Okay, turns, how many times the wire is rotated in that coil. Okay, that is the turns. If you increase the number of turns, then you can increase the speed of rotation of coil also. Then by increasing the area of the coil. Okay, so increasing the area of the coil. Next is increasing the strength of the magnetic field. So by increasing strength of current of coil, by increasing the number of turns in the coil, by increasing the area of the coil, then increasing the strength of magnetic field, we can increase the speed of rotation of the coil. In 1831, Michael Faraday explained the possibility of producing an EMF across the conductor when the magnetic flux linked with the conductor is changed. In order to demonstrate this, Faraday conducted few experiments. Let's see that few experiments. In the first experiment, two coils were wound on a soft iron ring that is shown in the figure, separated from each other. The two coils are separated from each other. Okay, the coil on the left is connected to a battery and a switch K. Okay, the K symbol is represented as what switch, and battery, you know that longer line and shorter line, that is battery. And then a galvanometer is attached to the coil on the right side. Right side coil is attached with the galvanometer. The galvanometer symbol is A and the arrow mark is given in that. Okay, so when a switch is put on at the instant, there is a deflection in the galvanometer. So when the switch on, what happens when you close the circuit by using the key? There is a deflection in the galvanometer. The needle is moves in one certain direction. Likewise, when the switch is put off, again there is a deflection. Okay, when you open the open the switch, what happens? The current flowing stops. Okay, then also there is a deflection in the galvanometer, but in the opposite direction. So this proves the generation of current. Experiment 2. In this experiment, current or voltage is generated by the movement of the magnet in and out of the coil. The greater the number of turns, the higher in the voltage generated. While seeing the image, you can able to understand inside the coil they kept a bore magnet. So while moving in and out, there is a watt changing a voltage. So greater the number of turns, that is coil turns, the higher in the voltage generated. So this is the electromagnetic induction by moving the magnet. In experiment 3, the magnet is stationary but the coil is moved in and out of the magnetic field. Here also current is induced by moving coil up and down, but magnet is stationary. All these observations made Faraday to conclude that whenever there is change in the magnetic flux linked with the closed circuit, an EMF is produced, and the amount of EMF is induced varies directly as the rate at which the flux changes. This EMF is known as induced EMF, and the phenomena of producing an induced EMF due to change in the magnetic flux linked with the closed circuit is known as electromagnetic induction. EMF means electromotive force. Fleming right hand rule. Stretch the thumb, forefinger and the middle finger of your right hand mutually perpendicular to each other. If the forefinger indicates the direction of magnetic field and the thumb indicates the direction of motion of the conductor, Then the middle finger will indicate the direction of induced current. Fleming right hand rule is also called generator rule. Okay, the thumb shows motion or force F, and forefinger shows the magnetic field B, and the middle finger shows the induced current, that is I. This is the Fleming right hand rule. Electric generator. Already we saw that electric motor and how it works. Here electric generator. An alternating current AC generator as shown in the figure consists of rotating rectangular coil ABCD called armature placed between the two poles of a magnet, that is permanent magnet, north and south pole of magnet. The two ends of this coil are connected to two slip rings, that is S1 and S2, that is slip ring. The inner sides of these rings are insulated. Two conducting stationary brushes also connected, that is B1 and B2, are kept separately on the rings S1 and S2, that is shown in the figure. The two rings S1 and S2 are internally attached to an axle. The axle may be mechanically rotated from outside to rotate the coil inside the magnetic field. Outer ends of the two brushes are connected to the external circuit. These are the constructions of electric generator. Let's see the working of electric generator. When the coil is rotated, the magnetic flux linked with the coil changes. This change in the magnetic flux will lead to generation of induced current. The direction of the induced current as given by Fleming right hand rule, that is along ABCD is the coil, and in the outer circuit is flows from B2 to B1, that is brushes. During the second half of the rotation, the direction of current is along DCBA in the coil, and in the outer circuit it flows from B1 and B2. As the rotation of the coil continues, the induced current in the external circuit is changing its direction for every half of a rotation of the coil. To get a direct current DC, a split ring type commutator must be used with this arrangement. One brush is at all times in contact with the arm moving up in the field, while the other is in contact with the arm moving down. Thus, a unidirectional current is produced. The generator is thus called a DC generator. While seeing this image, that is brushes differently connected in AC and in DC. Okay, in the AC ring there is no space, but in the DC ring, that is splitted ring or connected. Okay, so these are the difference between AC and DC generators. Now we'll see the transformer. Transformer is a device used for converting low voltage into high voltage and high voltage into low voltage. It works on the principle of electromagnetic induction. It consists of a primary and secondary coil insulated from each other. The alternating current flowing through the primary coil induces magnetic field in the ion ring. The magnetic field of the ion ring induces a varying EMF in the secondary coil. Let's see the step up transformer and step down transformer. In the step up transformer, used to change a low alternating voltage to high alternating voltage, that is step up transformer. So in a step up transformer, the number of turns in the secondary coil is more than the number of turns in the primary coil. But in the step down transformer, used to change a high alternating voltage to low alternating voltage, and then the number of turns in the secondary coils are less than the number of turns in the primary coil. The formula pertaining to the transformers are given in the following equation. Number of primary turns Np divided by number of secondary turns Ns is equal to primary voltage Vp divided by secondary voltage Vs. And then number of secondary turns Ns divided by number of primary turns Np is equal to primary current Ip divided by secondary current Is. Applications of electromagnets. Electromagnetism has created a great revolution in the field of engineering applications. In addition, this has caused a great impact on various fields such as medicine, industry, space, etc. Let us see the few applications of electromagnets. Speaker. Inside the speaker, an electromagnet is placed in front of a permanent magnet. The permanent magnet is fixed firmly in position, whereas the electromagnet is mobile. As pulses of electricity pass through the coil of the electromagnet, the direction of its magnetic field is rapidly changed. This means that it is in turn attracted to and repelled from the permanent magnet, vibrating back and forth. The electromagnet is attached to a cone made of a flexible material such as paper or plastic, which amplifies these vibrations, pumping sound waves into the surrounding air towards our ears. Magnetic levitation trains. Magnetic levitations, that is maglev, is a method by which an object is suspended with no support other than magnetic fields. In maglev trains, two sets of magnets are used, one set to repel and push the train up off the track, then other set to move the floating train ahead at great speed without friction. In this technology, there is no moving part. The train travels along a guideway of magnets which controls the train's stability and speed using the basic principle of magnets. Applications of electromagnets in medical system. Nowadays, electromagnetic fields play a key role in advanced medical equipments such as hyperthermia, treatments for cancer, implant and magnetic resonance imaging, that is MRI scan, sophisticated equipments working based on electromagnetism can scan even minute details of the human body. Many of the medical equipment such as scanners, X-ray equipments and other equipments also use the principle of electromagnetism for their functioning. Thank you children.